Hello friend, and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2, where we're back with turn 2. Now, there are a few things that I want to do before I actually go and kick off with the next turn. So, one of the things that I learned meanwhile is that your HQs will be able to boost the power of the depots. So, for example, I have this Army Group North over here, and, well, that should then boost the power of the depot. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that at the very least, I'll try to keep my HQs on the actual depots. Or at the very least on the rail lines, so that they will perform better wherever I can, basically, because real damage. Let's take a look. The rail does seem to be repaired here for the most part up until here, and then first bad area is in here, just like this stack of pills casks. Okay, but most of the rails is surprisingly doing fine, and I guess this is I guess potentially the reason. I guess there is still some damage or something. Excess real usage here is 0, just like here, obviously. At either rate, they do have some kind of new systems there too. I want to, I suppose, and also at least put these guys in here. Like I said, wherever I can, I will then put them in there. Now, at this stage, combat delays, yeah, obviously. It's interesting that they actually, I didn't see this before, this rail colors in reality. That is, I think, real damage. So it's rather odd that it would show it like that now. I mean, I'm fine with it, but either way, looking at the depots, there is another depot here. So what I'll do is, well, unfortunately they have to move forward, but I will switch those and those already onto the depot. And the fact that I have the Armor Group Center on that depot there is, together with the 4th Army, then is pretty good. I have 2 of these on that depot. That should work. It might actually even be that the AI purposely put the depots on those hexes. It wouldn't even surprise me all that much. So supposedly, the higher the HQ, the better it works. So I'll be looking out for that. Next up, because there are quite a few areas in which we have a shortage of planes, I actually want to look at sending some planes from each of the air fleets. So let's okay, so they don't have those elements assigned directly. I guess if we go to the commander's report screen. No, that's not what I want. I wouldn't want to disband them. Maybe I'll have to wait until the next error turn in order to move those. We'll see. Are there any other ground units that I still want to ship over? Now, all these guys apparently have arrived. You're supposed to be able to set the location where you want to deploy your units, or within a certain area. So no, I don't need the commander's reports. I need this one, yeah. We can see a few units arriving as reinforcements on the map. That's all well and fine. Kind of weird how they still have quite a few depots over in those areas. I'm not necessarily too excited about that. But there are no units that I can send now anyway. So let's ship it back to the Soviets, and then we'll see what's happening there. I'll skip through the transports here. That should make things again, this is pretty weird, but we'll see how long they'll keep that up. Same with the air units being flexible. Once the initial pockets have been cleared entirely, I will see whether I can put those air fleets to advance, and we'll see what kind of effect that has, contrary to what it is right now. I would expect them to move quite a bit forward as it is. I'm still really just looking to use or to change the air assets, etc. in a future episode or future LP, once my understanding of other elements of the game has improved a bit. I think the air war is one of the things that I want to fix, I guess, last, or try to understand last. But yeah, we'll see. It's a gradual process, so you know, I learned something between every other couple of turns. I'll try to implement that in the way I'm playing the game, and as we move along this way, you know, gradually I'll improve. Of course, that probably means that for the first game I will not win, but we'll see how it goes in general. I mean, that's why I said I don't really expect to win here on a first game like that, but well, it's still interesting to see how things go. One thing that's definitely different is that it's a lot easier to make the Soviets rout on a hard attack, I feel like. So you're investing more MP, but you're much more likely to get a good result out of that than performing soft attacks. That seems to be the case. Fatigue definitely plays a very big part for the Germans. and combat parameters together with the combat preparation. It's a real big difference, and yeah, I don't know how quickly, for the Germans at least, they recover their combat values, but it certainly is a big problem that you're actually losing that combat value relatively quickly now. This garrisoning of urban areas tends to take a pretty long time. I'm still not really sure what that ultimately means. Whether they mean every single city, major cities, etc. Man, we have such a long way to go. Even just places like Konotop or Starodub. Generally, it seems like on this map, things are a lot more stretched out than on the previous map. I'm sure that is historically more accurate. It would be very weird if on this map things would be less historically accurate than they were during the first game. That would be weird, but it does feel like things really are a lot more stretched. I do find it... Okay, yeah, there we go. So... Oh, it seems like they almost cut the rail line down there. Holy cow. I must really defeat that unit. It must have gone all the way straight up down there. With that newly gained supply. And we'll see whether I can send some air units to various places in Europe, potentially, to make sure that we do meet those requirements. I will really need to take a look at how to most efficiently send forces to the theater boxes, in the sense that I want the theater boxes to be, you know, at healthy percentages, but I have no clue how much of an impact, say, 50 fighters has for the value in, say, North Africa. And to be honest, I would like to read in, you know, somewhere on the forums what other people tend to use in that sense. Either way, it seems like we're still at our axis high. Let's take a look at the events. There is only eastward evacuations. As the Germans and their allies advanced, retreating Soviet officials shipped 6 million cattle from the Ukraine east to Russia, 550 large factories, thousands of small factories, and 300,000 tractors. The USSR evacuates 3.5 million skilled workers from the Ukraine to the Russian Republic. Let's just take a look at the info screens here as well. So for the losses, we see we have close to 40,000, Russians close to 500,000 at the moment. So currently, say that I would want to send units from KG 77 and say from Königsberg. I cannot immediately send them there. I would need to send them to the reserve first. So let's take a look at the reserve. And then currently we do have some forces there that I can transfer. So that's probably a very good idea. So, for example, Coastal Fortress Construction Battalion. Well, I would probably need to send that to Western Europe. Currently, if we look at Western Europe, we do already have 103 when it comes to ground. But I'm sure they could use it. So then we'll have some Stuk battalions. Well, I'm already sending some forces to Finland, but we're actually missing units still in North Africa and also in the Balkans. So mostly in Africa though, so let's send both Stuk battalions over to Africa. And North Africa. Not sure how good that is, but yeah, because they're mostly the problem is fighters or flak. Now I have a very low percentage of flak low. And I did say I really want to check out what flak low means. So I'll probably somewhere during the course of this this turn look at what flak low means and then send the appropriate units over to the appropriate location. I'll probably do that between this and the next episode. Somewhere in between there. So that will account for all of the flak. I would assume that light flak division would count as flak low, but I'm really not sure. Either way, this Führerbegleiter infantry battalion has 0.91 combat value. Let's send them over to Finland as well. I'm not sending all these units to historical areas, but just generally where I think they'll probably do a good job. Anyway, that means I'm gonna get new air directives, I suppose. For now, let's let them run, and then we'll take a look at the ground situation. Of operational losses. Now you can imagine the AI simply just continuing to let the air forces run while there might be rain or something, and that would probably result in pretty high operational losses if the weather is bad, but the AI doesn't properly take account for it, which really does make it so that it's probably better to do all that stuff yourself by a very large margin. For example, let's see. Okay, it doesn't actually have last look thing anymore. Anyway, obviously not a whole lot changed in terms of these pockets. Yeah, these guys did kind of escape there. That's unfortunate, but besides that, there's not a whole lot going on there. Not really sure what happened with these units, whether they surrendered or not. It's actually beyond me. Maybe I just no longer have any vision on them anymore. Oh, they're there. I just didn't spot them. So a large buildup of Soviet forces in this center area around here. Apparently this rifle division is also quite powerful. So, besides that, this pocket is still there. Interestingly enough, these went back to Soviet control for whatever reason. It's very weird. So I'll have to, I guess, re-pocket them. Like, I have no clue why this transferred back over to Soviets. They don't have a unit right next to it. It's just very weird the way that supposedly worked. And there wasn't any combat. So that's really weird. Why would that actually go to Soviet control? Weird. Well, let's try to deal with the Norwegians, or with the Romanians first this time, because I'm feeling like it. I'm trying to take home as many hexes as possible here as well. Yeah. So that, you know, we'll have most of Bessarabia back within no time. Now, the one thing that is actually interesting is that the Russians did retreat in Bessarabia quite a bit, but then they are really trying to build up a new defensive position along the Stalin line here, as far as that's going on right now. I would not be surprised if they have, you know, retreated back to the Dniester. It will take at least another turn before I get there. But if we look at historical capture dates, then this kind of makes sense as well. Like 27th of July, 23rd of July, 28th. So there's actually quite a long period of time in between the capturing there. Meanwhile, I'll have to... Can you still move? No. I would... Oh, they actually don't have anything on the Dniester. I would consider that to be a critical opportunity to get in there. Very odd. So, for you to move through here, you'll take some of that territory. And let's at least as well cross the... I guess this is an extension of the Dniester here. I guess crossing the rivers in that sense already is probably quite useful. It should really help me. And I guess I've converted as well a very large number of hexes here. That's actually pretty good. So besides that, I do want to keep that 4th Romanian army on this, but then as for the HQs, I kind of want to keep them on the rail line. A lot of real damage in there. Which I have to get repaired now. I'll keep that there. I will have to keep a unit in Kishinev regardless. Sticks it to 2, so then I would no longer be able to attack, although from this side I would be. I know I'm attacking from across the river, so I'm not really surprised that this didn't work out. Second time I lost a lot more units. Alright. That's just... It's just not gonna fall like that, so... This is starting to get pretty annoying. I don't want to spend an entire German unit on dealing with this, but it seems like I just straight up have no choice. God. Okay. We should be able to do this with a soft attack, at least for now, then. 20 tanks? Or 20 motorized units? I wonder from what? At any rate. Very likely they will be able to grasp, but the question is, where do I want to do it? I can probably route this this unit, and I do think that I am willing to at least disrupt this airborne brigade. I guess for this turn, what I want to do mostly, or at least for this episode, is just clear up various positions and then continue moving in the next one. Can't even move in there for now. That's fine. They can also take their time. Okay, I was kind of hoping to get Stanislav. Sweet. That's also a lot of units, so I'm feeling pretty good at least about that. Stanislav obviously is also a major manpower location, so I was definitely looking to capture that too. I mean, at least I was able to beat them. But guess it didn't make it that much easier on me. At least in terms of that mechanized division. Does seem to be a lot weaker now, though. Okay. Okay, well. Let's use a German one then. And again. There we go. Okay. I need this German unit at least to just move into the center here to take all of those hexes. Alright. I can at least repocket those guys. Yeah, we'll see how that... Seems like this does not take either of those hexes, so they must have units in there. Somewhere, yeah. The Airborne Brigade is not that hard to make surrender at that point. And will, again, also at least allow me to... Okay, so they must have another unit around here. If I'm not taking either of that with the movement. Okay, still pretty high in terms of values. Sweet. All right. There we go. And then to the last point is for you. It will not make it, obviously. Probably not even now. Nah. But I guess you will. There we go. Okay. Getting rid of most of these is now relatively easy, luckily. Well, that's also quite necessary at this stage. Okay, so in order to take all of these hexes, or most of them, oof, that's harsh. Let's keep going. Seems like they're now quite centered around Volkovisk. In that sector. If I move down I'll also at least take that territory. They, I guess, have a unit down there then. Out here. Okay. Guess that did not work. At least here it did, though. Yeah, I'll need one unit at least to get all the way up here, make sure that all of this territory will be taken. Like this, it doesn't help me at all, just going up through there. That's just that's just nothing. Level 5, huh? Either way, let's continue with trying to deal with these. They surrendered. I'll need a unit that will move. Let's see if they convert this here. No, they don't. So they have a unit in here. Cannot cross the river. Do I need to at this stage? I don't think so. This is now probably empty, this area. Or not. Well, okay, let's make them surrender then. That's another unit. They'll be able to move up. Again, no need to try and take this for the moment. Wouldn't surprise me if they have a unit in that particular hex. Now, I did say that I need to secure the rail line in here, and I do. Come on. Okay, not bad. I'm pretty close to Minsk now. Let's repair. Unfortunately, I need this one to go in here to take those hexes anyway. Might just as well use these. And then move further up towards Daugavpilsk here. However, you actually repaired that. Now they can move all the way into Daugavpilsk and not repair that piece of the rail line. Still, that should give me pretty decent supply up in the north pretty soon, I think. So that at least is looking reasonably well. Let's take that territory anyway, and then use this army, this unit at least, also to take those two hexes. Oh, I have another rail unit. Completely forgot about these guys. Now, there are a few options that I could do. I can move towards Polotsk and then into this area, or well, the thing is that yeah, I should probably use this one to go down from Minsk. I already have this one here. But then I would not have any from Smolensk moving up there. Yeah, let's work our way down first, or into this direction towards Minsk as well with you guys. As a first plan, I do think that's a lot better, surely. Yeah, this means they can't move a whole lot further. But I still think it's a pretty good job. So I could have taken this area a lot faster, but I don't really think that would have been that necessary. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been such a great idea. You are one of the few units that actually gets to attack there. So let's not do that. Yeah, I've pretty much used up all of the units and such that I want to use for the removal of enemy units from the pockets. If we're looking at casualties now, they're a lot higher, 704,000 to 41. So it does add up quite a bit. So I am quite happy about it. If we're looking at the order of battle for the Soviets, it's now 2.8. We can see that unfortunately this is actually rising. Even now, it has not diminished at all. So that is tough, but we'll see how it goes in the future. Either way, I'm gonna wrap things up for now. I want to thank you for watching this first episode. Do hope you or this first bonus episode, indeed. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Special shout out to my Patreon supporters: Pumnarao, Dungeon Pastor, Tomislav Chen, Thomas B. Marshall, C Data, and Swords. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. See you next time, and bye bye.